She's heard it all before. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're different. None of it moves her anymore. But once in a while, she hears a line that hits her deep, not because of the words, but because of what it makes her feel. This video gives you those lines, not to manipulate, but to connect, not to impress, but to move her emotionally in a way she'll never forget. Welcome to a different kind of conversation about attraction. If you're tired of compliments that go nowhere, of trying to stand out by sounding like every other guy, you're in the right place. These 8 compliments are different. They're not about her looks, they're not about flattery. They're built on emotional truth, on presence, on saying what most men are too distracted to notice. Each one has been chosen because it taps into a part of her that rarely gets touched. Her identity, her energy, her silence, her story. These lines come from a place of grounded masculinity. They don't chase approval, they reflect reality. And because of that, they leave a mark. Support this channel if you're someone who values depth over surface. Every time you like, comment, or share, you help bring these tools to more men who are stuck trying to impress instead of express. Let's build men who speak to the soul, not just the surface. Number 1, you remind me of someone I haven't met yet. Why it works. This compliment is magnetic because it's emotionally ambiguous, yet strangely intimate. It touches on familiarity, mystery, and romantic possibility, without sounding cliché or obvious. Most compliments tell a woman something she already knows. This one suggests there's something deeper going on. It creates a sense of soul recognition. It doesn't objectify her. It doesn't rate her beauty. Instead, it says, there's something about you that feels known, but in a way that can't be explained. It opens a door in her mind, and she starts walking through it emotionally, trying to understand why you feel so tuned into her. That curiosity builds tension, and tension is what attraction feeds on. When to use it? This compliment is powerful when the emotional tempo is calm, slightly mysterious, and has depth, like late-night conversations, reflective silences, or deep eye contact moments. You don't use it when she's distracted or the moment is too casual. You use it when she just shared something vulnerable about her past. You've both slowed down, and there's a quiet, emotional pause. You're having a calm, emotionally rich moment, maybe during a walk, a chill talk after dinner, or even a long stare with soft background music. How to use it? You're sitting next to her at a park or cafe after a long talk, and she says something personal, like a childhood memory or a fear she rarely shares. You gently smile, look at her for a few seconds, and say, "You remind me of someone I haven't met yet." Then pause. Let it land. You're on a second or third date, and the energy is slow and magnetic. She's relaxed and not trying to impress. You catch a moment where she's just being herself. That's when you lean in slightly, maintain soft eye contact, and say, "You know, it's strange, but you remind me of someone I haven't met yet." Keep your tone slow and sincere, not rehearsed. Keep your body language grounded. What if she asks, "What do you mean?" That's a good sign. She's emotionally engaged. Do not explain too much. If you explain it logically, the spell breaks. Mystery dies when overtalked. Instead, lean into the emotion with something like, "I'm not exactly sure. It's a feeling more than a thought." Maybe it's the way you carry yourself. There's something familiar, but it's not from the past. I've just never felt that kind of energy before. It feels incomplete, but in a good way. You're not trying to solve the puzzle. You're inviting her to feel it with you. That's what draws her in. Bonus. What this says about you. Using this compliment says you are emotionally attuned, present, not outcome dependent, comfortable with ambiguity, able to lead emotionally without trying to control. And those traits are irresistible to a woman who's emotionally aware. Number 2, whatever it is you're holding back, don't. I already feel it. Why it works. This compliment hits deep because it makes her feel emotionally seen, not just observed. Most people wear masks, especially in early stages of a connection. Women in particular are used to being admired for how they look or behave, but rarely are they called out gently on what they're trying not to express. This line invites her into emotional intimacy, but it's not forceful. It's not, "Tell me your secrets." It's, "I already know something's alive in you, and I'm safe enough to feel it." That level of sensitivity, spoken from calm, masculine energy, immediately shifts her perception of you. Instead of just being attracted, she starts to feel safe, curious, exposed in a good way. You're not just hearing her, you're feeling her vibe. And very few men ever do that. When to use it? Use this when she's clearly holding something back. You'll notice the signs. A shift in her tone, hesitation in her words, a soft look that passes across her face and vanishes. It might be a pause in her story, a glance away when a topic gets personal, or an emotional moment she clearly didn't finish expressing. You're not pressing her to open up. You're acknowledging that you feel more is present, and you're already connected to it. That makes her feel emotionally recognized. How to use it? You're on a second or third date, and she talks about something in her life that clearly means a lot, but she brushes past it or changes the subject quickly. That's your moment. Look at her softly and say, "Whatever it is you're holding back, don't. I already feel it." You're in a quiet moment, maybe in a car, on a walk, or sitting together, and she gets lost in thought. You can feel the shift in her mood, but she doesn't say anything. That's when you lean in emotionally and say it. She's texting or calling, and you can tell her tone doesn't match her words. Drop this line in person if possible, or even in a voice note or text if you've already built emotional intimacy. Example, something's unspoken in you right now, and I can feel it. Whatever it is, you don't need to hide it. If she responds, "What do you mean?" Or, "What do you think I'm holding back?" Do not try to guess or decode her like a therapist. That's not the goal. You're reflecting her emotional energy, not analyzing her mind. Keep your response open, poetic, and safe. You can say, "I don't need to define it. I just feel there's more under the surface. And it's beautiful, not heavy. Whatever it is, it doesn't scare me. And you don't need to protect me from it." Sometimes people just want to be seen, not solved. And I see it. These replies build emotional safety, without pressure. She may open up. She may just soften in your presence. Either is a win. What to avoid? Don't say this randomly. Timing is everything. Don't use it if you're unsure of your own calm. Nervous delivery kills the impact. Don't expect her to open up instantly. Just plant the emotional seed. What this says about you: you're emotionally intelligent. You're not afraid of emotion. You welcome it. You don't chase validation. You offer space. You sense energy, not just words. You lead the emotional tone without control. This positions you as masculine presence, not a pleaser, not a performer, but a grounded man who creates emotional gravity. She won't forget how it made her feel. Number 3. You have the kind of energy people search for but can't describe. Why it works. This compliment does two things most praise never accomplishes. It elevates her emotional identity and adds mystery to her presence. It shifts the focus from how she looks or behaves to the atmosphere she creates, something far more impactful and intimate. Most women have heard compliments about their looks. Some have heard praise about their personality. Very few have been told they have an energy that lingers, that moves people, that can't be put into words, but is deeply felt. This line gives her a sense of rarity, and humans crave that. When you say this, you're telling her, your presence alone has value. You're not chasing her. You're honoring her energetic fingerprint. That builds trust, admiration, and a subtle kind of tension she won't know how to process in the best way. When to use it. This is a compliment you drop when you're both in a flow state. There's no awkwardness, no posturing. You're not trying to impress her. She's not trying to impress you. It's that moment when everything just feels good, when her laugh feels right, the eye contact is locked in, or she's simply relaxed in herself. That's when this line hits like lightning. Not because it's loud, but because it resonates. You've captured something she's never been told, but always wanted to believe was true. How to use it. You're out together and everything is light, easy, and fun. She's not trying to be impressive, she's just being. That's when you take a beat, lean in a little, and say with total sincerity, you know, you have the kind of energy people search for but can't describe. You're walking somewhere, maybe after dinner, maybe during a late-night stroll, and you're not saying much, just good silence. Drop this line quietly, without build-up. Let it float. You're at a social gathering, and she's not the loudest in the room, but you notice how people are drawn to her. After a moment alone, mention it. You haven't said much tonight, but somehow you're the most magnetic person here. Then add, that's rare. It's the kind of energy people feel but don't know how to name. If she responds, what do you mean by that? Perfect. She's leaning in emotionally. She's not rejecting it. She's inviting more. The worst thing you can do here is explain it like a dictionary. Keep it poetic and calm. Try, it's hard to explain, but there's something in your presence that just shifts the room. You probably don't even notice it. You don't chase attention, but somehow you have all of it. You have gravity. People feel more when they're around you. That's rare. Let her sit with that. Don't try to be clever. Be still. Let your tone do the rest. What to avoid? Don't say this too early, like on a first date where the vibe isn't calibrated. Don't use it to get a reaction. Use it to reflect a moment of truth. Don't follow it up with another compliment. Say it. Let it breathe. What this says about you: you pay attention to the unspoken. You don't seek superficial validation. You lead with calm presence, not performance. You're not just in the moment, you're feeling it deeply. You see energy, not just appearance. This makes her feel something most women never get from men: emotional recognition without strings. And that makes her wonder about you long after the moment ends. Number 4. You remind me of a memory I don't think ever happened. Why it works. This compliment is poetic and emotionally disorienting in the most beautiful way. It doesn't flatter, it evokes. It makes her feel something she can't define, and in doing that, it pulls her into emotional depth. Most compliments describe something present or visible. This one suggests something felt but unknown. It tells her that she feels familiar, not in a logical way, but in a way that lives inside your emotional memory. That kind of compliment is unforgettable because it's not just praise, it's a mirror to her energy. This line activates the deepest corners of feminine emotion: longing, nostalgia, the desire to be felt without being chased. It makes her feel like she carries a presence that lives outside of time, like she's part of a story that existed before either of you knew it. When delivered with calm, steady presence, this line can leave her emotionally stirred for days. When to use it? Use this when you've already shared emotional moments or some silent chemistry. This isn't a line to drop early. It requires emotional rhythm between you and her. Perfect moments include: you've had a long, slow conversation that touched on childhood, dreams, art, or emotions. You're in a quiet place, after a long walk, during a slow drive, lying on the couch, or standing under the stars. She's just done something simple, laughing in a certain way, pausing thoughtfully, that triggers a deep emotional impression. This compliment works best when everything is still and slow. You're not performing, you're feeling, and showing her that she left an emotional fingerprint. How to use it. You're walking back from a long dinner, and the night is quiet. You've both shared stories. You feel that warmth between you. She says something about her favorite childhood song, or a scent she loves. You gently look over and say, "You remind me of a memory I don't think ever happened." Then go quiet, let it land. You're with her in a calm space, maybe in your apartment, lights low, music playing softly. She's sitting across from you, not saying much. You just feel the comfort, the energy. You glance at her with a slight smile and say, "This might sound strange, but you remind me of a memory I don't think ever happened." You're texting late at night. The mood is vulnerable. She's sending thoughtful voice notes, or you've both been reminiscing. Drop the line gently, just as a message. "You remind me of something I can't place, a memory that I don't think even happened." If she responds, what kind of memory? This is a chance to go deeper without breaking the emotional tension. You're not answering like a puzzle. You're offering an emotion. Here are ways to respond. "I don't know. Maybe something from childhood, that safe feeling, that quiet. Something warm, peaceful. It's like you fit into a space I didn't know was empty. Maybe it's the way you carry your silence. It feels nostalgic." You're not defining her. You're revealing how she makes you feel. That creates intimacy without attachment, curiosity without neediness. What to avoid? Don't overuse this kind of poetic compliment. It loses its effect. Don't explain it logically. The more specific you get, the less powerful it becomes. Don't laugh or make it sound like a line. Deliver it with grounded stillness. What this says about you: you're emotionally literate. You connect through energy, not performance. You experience the present moment deeply. You're romantic, but not desperate. You're calm, curious, and self-aware. She won't know exactly what to do with what you said, but she'll feel it. And that feeling will replay in her mind long after you're gone. She'll wonder what you meant. She'll start to associate your presence with a warm kind of familiarity. And that's where true emotional connection begins. Number 5, you don't try to be different. You just are. Why it works. This compliment speaks directly to a woman's identity, not her appearance or actions. It quietly praises something she's likely never been fully recognized for: her natural essence, her unforced individuality, the fact that she stands out without trying. In a world full of performance, filters, and competition, women are often rewarded for trying to be more, show more, or stand out louder. This compliment cuts through all that. It says, "You're already enough." Without effort. It's not just validation, it's recognition. And recognition creates emotional intimacy. You're not trying to hype her up. You're calmly reflecting what she might secretly hope someone would notice. That who she is, quietly, naturally, effortlessly, is already compelling. This makes her feel safe, seen, and powerful in a way no compliment about her looks or style ever could. When to use it. This line works best when you've observed her being authentic, especially when she's not trying to impress. She might be dressed down, not wearing makeup, expressing her true thoughts, or simply being low-key. Ideal moments include she laughs at something unexpected and doesn't try to be cute. She speaks her mind clearly without trying to soften it. She's relaxed, honest, and in her natural rhythm. No performance, just presence. That's when you let this line land. It works because you're acknowledging the absence of effort. And that's what makes it hit. How to use it. She's sharing something unfiltered, maybe her opinion on something unpopular or a personal story. You pause for a second, nod gently, and say with low voice, "You don't try to be different, you just are." You're sitting on a couch together, and she's in her comfort zone. Hair tied up, no filters, just herself. That's when you gently say, "There's something rare about you. You don't chase attention. You don't try to stand out. You just are." She's joking, laughing, acting playful, but not for show. You say, mid-smile, "What I like is that none of it feels forced. You're just real. You don't try to be different. You just are." This compliment is best dropped like a truth you just realized, not premeditated, not theatrical. Calm, real, and still. If she responds, "That's sweet, but what do you mean?" This is your moment to anchor the emotion without over-explaining. Here's how you can reply. "Most people perform. You don't. That makes you powerful without even trying. There's something about you that doesn't fit into a box, and you're not even trying to be rebellious. It's just you. You don't need noise to be seen. That's rare." Keep your tone slow, sincere, and steady. Let her feel that you meant it, not to impress, but to reflect a truth she might not see in herself yet. What to avoid? Don't say this too early in your interaction. Use it once you've felt her natural self. Don't pair it with looks-based compliments. It kills the subtlety. Don't follow it up with jokes. Let it sit. It's strong on its own. What this says about you. You see beyond surface performance. You value calm presence over social performance. You don't reward effort. You recognize essence. You're emotionally aware and not trying to win her. You know how to validate without simping. This compliment shows her that she's valuable without performing. That you're a man who's grounded, aware, and impossible to manipulate. That's not just attractive, it's irresistible. Number 6. Being around you feels like coming home. Why it works. This compliment isn't about looks. It's not about intelligence, humor, or personality. It's about emotional atmosphere. How she makes people feel without doing anything. That's why it hits differently. When you say, "Being around you feels like coming home," you're not giving her praise. You're giving her a feeling. You're saying she creates comfort, safety, peace, the very things most women quietly long to feel in a man's presence, and rarely do. This compliment tells her, "I feel grounded around you. I feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally." And that creates a powerful reverse attraction. Because once she senses that you feel peace with her, She'll want to experience what it feels like to offer that to you again and again. It taps into her deep feminine identity, the desire to nurture, to be a place of safety, to offer emotional gravity without effort. And when you reflect that feeling back to her, she doesn't just feel valued, she feels honored. When to use it? Use this compliment when the energy is soft, when she's relaxed, when there's silence, ease, or emotional closeness. Ideal moments: after an intense conversation ends and you're both sitting in calm stillness. During a quiet night in, when she's not done up, not trying, just being. In a moment when her presence genuinely makes you feel clear, safe, and grounded. This line works best when it's not calculated. It should feel like you just realized something personal and true. That authenticity is what makes it unforgettable. How to use it? You've been talking on the couch for an hour, no pressure. She's lying beside you, sipping tea, quiet, peaceful. You gently look over and say, almost to yourself, "Being around you feels like coming home." You're lying next to her after an evening walk or intimate night. She's close, but not clinging. Her energy is still, loving, quiet. You gently whisper, you don't even know it, but your presence feels like home. You're on a call or late-night video chat. You both feel the peace. You pause and say with a relaxed tone, "There's something in you that just settles things. Being with you is different. It feels like coming home." Let your tone do the work. Slow, warm, certain. If she responds, "What do you mean?" or "That's really sweet," here's where you don't overtalk it. You intensify the presence instead of explaining. Try something like, "Some people give energy. You give peace. You feel like the opposite of noise, like presence." "I can't fully explain it, and I don't want to. I just know what I feel." This invites her deeper into the emotional space you've created. You're not solving her. You're not wooing her. You're simply being honest about what you feel in her presence. That's what builds emotional intimacy. What to avoid? Don't use this too early. It must be earned emotionally. Don't say it during tension or arguments. Don't deliver it casually. It loses power without presence. Don't use it if you don't genuinely feel peace around her. This compliment is sacred. Treat it that way. What this says about you: you are emotionally present. You know how to name subtle emotions. You see value in peace, not just excitement. You're not afraid to feel and share what you feel. You're grounded, sincere, and emotionally intelligent. When used right, this compliment leaves a lifelong imprint on her memory. It tells her, you matter, not for how you look, but for how you make others feel. That kind of recognition is rare, and it changes everything. Number 7, you see things in a way most people don't. Why it works. This compliment is rare because it highlights her way of seeing the world, not what she does or how she looks. You're recognizing her inner perception, her thought patterns, her emotional intelligence, her ability to notice or interpret things in a way that most people miss. It appeals directly to her sense of uniqueness, not her ego. You're not just saying she's smart or deep. You're telling her that her perspective is rare and that you've noticed it. This plants a powerful seed. You're not like the others, and I see it clearly. And when a woman feels like her mind is seen, not just her body, it's disarming in the most attractive way. It makes her feel appreciated for who she is, not what she gives. This compliment connects powerfully with women who are thoughtful, introspective, intuitive, creative, or emotionally aware. But it works on nearly everyone when delivered sincerely, because every human wants to feel that their mind is special. When to use it? Drop this compliment after she says something insightful, something that surprises you, shifts your thinking, or reflects real self-awareness. It might be an opinion that challenges groupthink, a poetic or emotionally layered observation. A unique reaction to something you assumed was ordinary. A statement that reflects empathy, sensitivity, or hidden strength. You want to use this line like a mirror, not just a comment. It should reflect something you just realized about her in the moment. That's what makes it feel real. How to use it? You're talking about a movie or a social issue, and she says something that catches you off guard. Thoughtful and different. You pause for a beat, look at her, and say, "You see things in a way most people don't." You're scrolling through photos together or watching something online. She makes a comment that's emotionally intelligent, artistic, or nuanced. Without looking too impressed, you just say, "That's why I like talking to you. You see things others miss." You're in a serious or even light-hearted conversation, and she connects two ideas in a unique way. You raise your eyebrow slightly and say, almost casually, "I don't hear many people say that. You really do see the world differently." This line isn't a performance. It should feel like you're noticing her, not praising her. That's what makes it powerful. If she responds, "Really? Like what?" or "No one's ever said that before," don't go into a lecture. Keep your energy calm. Gently expand with one specific thing you noticed. For example, "Just the way you said that, it wasn't just smart, it was real. Most people don't even think that far." You don't just react, you process, and you speak from what you actually feel. You're not trying to be different, but you are. That's what makes it land. You're not giving her a compliment, you're giving her a mirror to her self-awareness. And once she sees herself through your eyes, the bond deepens instantly. What to avoid? Don't say this if she hasn't shown anything that proves it. It must be earned. Don't follow up with logic or try to sound intellectual. Don't use this when she's in a shallow or distracted mindset. It won't land. What this says about you. You're an observer, not just a talker. You listen between the lines. You value emotional intelligence over surface traits. You give recognition, not attention. You're not easy to impress. But when you are, it means something. This line turns a casual conversation into a moment of respect. It validates her mind in a world obsessed with looks. And it positions you as someone who sees people, not just patterns. Number 8. You make people feel calm just by being around you. Why it works. This compliment doesn't praise appearance, performance, or intellect. It praises energy. And not just any energy, soothing presence. You're telling her that her simple existence creates emotional comfort. This hits differently because it's rarely said and deeply felt. In a world where most people are loud, distracted, and performative, being called calm is more than a compliment. It's recognition of her stability, her inner peace, her feminine grace. Whether she's fiery or quiet, confident or shy, every woman wants to be felt, not just seen. By saying this, you show her that you experience something good just by being near her. Not excitement, not pressure, ease. That's a level of respect and emotional connection most men never even think to communicate. It's not needy, it's not reactive, it's awareness. And that makes it magnetic. When to use it? This compliment is best used during slow, quiet, grounded moments, ideal conditions. She's being herself, not trying to impress. You've both fallen into a rhythm, no tension, just presence. She's simply sitting, being silent, listening, or resting near you. You feel that you are calmer in her presence, and you let that awareness rise. That's when this line lands, not like a pickup line, but like a gentle truth. It slips beneath her defenses and into her soul. How to use it. You're sitting side by side, not talking much, maybe watching something quietly. You feel grounded. You glance at her and say in a low, sincere tone, "You make people feel calm just by being around you." She's leaning on your shoulder during a moment of rest, a break in conversation. No distractions. You murmur softly, "Your energy's rare, it just settles everything." After a long, emotionally open talk, she's relaxed. Maybe you've moved into a quiet, peaceful silence. You gently offer, "You don't even have to say much. There's something in you that makes things feel safe." Don't dress it up. Don't add more. Let the simplicity carry weight. If she responds, "Why do you say that?" or "That's such a sweet thing to say," offer a grounded, emotionally honest answer. Something like, "Some people make noise, you create stillness." It's not just your voice or words, it's your energy. I feel it even when you're silent. I didn't realize how much peace I was missing until I felt it near you. Let her feel what you say, not just hear it. What to avoid? Don't say this during hype, parties, or chaos. It needs calm energy. Don't rush the line. Speak it slow, soft, certain. Don't fake it if her energy doesn't truly make you feel that way. It won't land. This line is sacred. It reflects genuine presence. It shouldn't be used often, but when it's true, it creates an unforgettable memory. What this says about you. You value peace over performance. You're emotionally self-aware. You're tuned into subtle energetic shifts. You don't just talk, you sense. You can feel beauty without needing noise. This kind of recognition moves a woman deeply because it tells her, your peace is power. It redefines attraction. And it tells her you're not like the others. Bonus compliment. There's something about you that makes silence feel good. Why it works. This compliment strikes at the core of emotional connection, the ability to be with someone without needing to fill space. Silence is often uncomfortable. It exposes tension, insecurity, and emotional gaps. But when silence feels good between two people, that's not just comfort, it's chemistry. By saying this, you're telling her that being in her presence is complete, even when nothing is happening. That you don't need distraction, small talk, or constant stimulation. Her simple presence has value. It's not about beauty, humor, intellect, or status. It's about how your nervous system responds to hers. And that's the most honest kind of intimacy there is. When a man can rest in silence with a woman and feel better, not worse, she feels emotionally chosen, not just physically admired. This line creates emotional gravity without effort. It makes her feel like you're not rushing the moment because you feel safe inside it. When to use it? Use this in moments where nothing is being said, but everything is being felt. Perfect situations. Lying in bed next to each other, not talking, just breathing, resting, touching lightly. Sitting together in a park, watching the sky, the world, the stillness. After a deep conversation ends and there's just peace, no urgency to speak again. Drop it not as a punchline, but as a whisper of truth. You felt something. You say it, and you let it echo. The compliments you just learned aren't lines. They're emotional keys. They unlock something most men never touch, a woman's inner world. When you stop complimenting how she looks and start reflecting how she feels, how her presence, her energy, her essence lands, you become unforgettable. You don't need to be a player. You need to be present. These compliments work because they speak directly to her identity, not her ego. And when you speak to that level, she doesn't just like you, she feels you. So the next time you're with her, pause, observe, feel her energy. And say less that means more. Comment, unstoppable, if you stayed until the end. That tells me you're not just watching to impress women, you're watching to understand them. Support the channel if you want more videos like this. Every share, like, and subscription helps bring this knowledge to men who've been taught to try harder, instead of feeling deeper. Become the man she remembers. Not because you were louder, but because you saw what no one else did. The compliments, they're not magic, but your energy behind them is.